The normal sucks, balding, bare bones, broadcaster, radio, broadcasting, YouTube delivered. Yay, YouTube. I speak of term misuse. Oftentimes the word good is the most misused term. Isn't it? Every time it's used, you're wanting to use another term and you put the word good in there. You cannot visualize the word good. You cannot. You cannot visualize the word sin. Obviously, when I look at the word sex, you cannot visualize that either. You're misusing that one, that's for sure. You know, you failed to, let's move from the word good to sex. Most of you think that's good, don't you? Because it's hormone pleasure. And you sneak around in the blasphemous ways, don't you? It's astounding. Editors of newspapers, man, with the brains to do what he does sneaking and not discuss it publicly. Astounding. Because of the failure of the discussion of sex. Which every time you use the word sex, what are you really talking about is hormones or gender in most cases. In most cases it's gender. There's no such thing as same-sex anything. And you call it same-sex marriage. It's same-gender affection, only, and the word is affection, because there's so much more affection to it than sex that ain't even funny. With all humans, I don't care who they are. Their affection is more than their sex. Always. They're only using that for some avenue or shunt to seek affection. And most of them, because their disposition, are not going to find it there. They don't understand what sex is, and they're not going to find the affection they're looking for there. They don't know it. I'm about looking for love in all the wrong places. You ain't going to find it in sex. You're not. Sex is a place to give it, not find it. You can't find love in sex. No one can. No one can! It's a place you give it! You understand that? You don't! And where do you give this love in sex? To your maker! You show appreciation that something else did! It really doesn't have anything to do with the individual you're having sex with. At all! Or you can't have sex. That's breeding for any animal. And you're an animal. And that's how your genetics is set up. That's what hormones and gender is. It's a recording long before you got here. You don't have these discussions. How do you know this? The children don't understand it. They're having all these normal hormone passions in some of mammals, and you have given them nothing to explain to themselves what is going on with themselves. You give them nothing. They're in closet anarchy. Now this is just a living now. See how terrible? It's been around for a long time, probably 3.5 million years. Years doesn't mean much. It's like one day. It's been around a day. 3.5 million years, one day. You're right. Ain't been around long. It's been around long enough to affect things. Affect the failure of the discussion. You can see that. And we have same-sex legislation. You know anything. You don't have a discussion, let alone legislation. Can you have legislation around the absence of a discussion? Can you? Then how much legislation you got on this planet? England? Can England have any legislation? They've never had any discussions. Has England had any discussion since the Magna Carta when they were demanded to speak? They haven't. It says they have to have a discussion before their legislation. Have they done it? No! Is the rest of the world having... Have you ever watched pygmies set laws? They've got a lot of discussion first. And believe me, they get to the point a lot quicker than anybody. Right here! And they have a lot of discussion. Then they set laws. Pygmies! You got to get there first. You're not even doing that. Your law is farther out in left field than pygmy law sitting on home plate. Do you want to bet? Dummy! For discussion reasons, absolutely. And then court is to try the failure and or success of that discussion. with the law, not the individual case at all. Court is to try the discussion before the law, which ought to be checked by the ballot, and without none of the above, you can't, can you? That checks the discussion in the heart of humanity, and overhears it too, and holds it priceless. The balloting, doesn't it? Well, you got to make them all run against the word no, and all discussion run word. This discussion is failure. No, come back with another discussion. That's what the ballot's for. Not for the failure of it and advertising what you're doing with the whole process. Mocks every aspect of it. Doesn't it? All over the planet. Long time. Jewish monarch reminding you. Nephew of King Saul. Built special. And I don't like special. You? Well, then let's just say weaned to adornment. Saul. Weaned to adornment. Like a sultan. And they tore him to shreds. Dumb. Samuel. Hey, Samuel. Dumb. Samuel.